My husband's sister moved in next door. We thought it would be nice for the kids. Then we started noticing things. Missing groceries. Open packages. One day, I walked into our living room. And she was already there. Watching TV. She'd used the spare key we gave for emergencies. I asked her to give it back. She laughed and said, "Your family. I go where I want." That weekend, she threw a barbecue. In our yard. With our grill. When I called her out in front of everyone, she screamed, "This should have been my house. You just married into it." But what she did with our mortgage info wasn't just petty, it was criminal. I'm not a dramatic person. I like quiet. I like order. I work a regular office job, I cook dinner most nights, and I don't start fights. But after what my husband's sister did, after everything she stole, after everything she tried to steal, I changed. Callie always had a loud energy. The kind of person who laughs a little too hard at her own jokes, complains about fake people, but lies with a smile. Nate, my husband, never saw it. Or maybe he did and didn't want to deal with it. They weren't close growing up, and after their mom passed, they barely talked unless it was a holiday. So when she called us out of nowhere and said she needed a place nearby for her and her kids, I wasn't thrilled. But I said okay. We helped her find a rental 2 doors down. Paid her first month's rent. Gave her extra dishes, helped her move furniture, and even gave her a spare key. Just in case. At the time, it felt like we were doing the right thing. Family helps family, right? It was fine for maybe 2 weeks. Her kids would come over and play with ours. She'd bring over leftovers, and we'd sit outside together sometimes. Then things shifted. Groceries went missing. I'm not talking about a banana or a can of soup. Whole packs of meat, cases of soda, sealed boxes of cereal. I asked Nate if he moved anything to the garage freezer. Nope. I checked the security camera we had above the garage. It didn't catch her in the act, but it did show her walking out our front door twice during the day while we were at work. Both times holding grocery bags. Then there were the packages. I'd order stuff from Amazon and find it in the mailbox clearly opened and retaped. The first time, I thought it was the delivery driver. The second time, I asked Nate, and he just shrugged. The third time, I waited. I watched from my car across the street one afternoon after I got off work early. Callie walked right up to our porch, looked around, took the box, and carried it into her house. I confronted her that night. She didn't deny it. "Oh, that? I thought it was mine. Then why'd you open it and keep it?" She smirked. "It was just paper towels. You can afford paper towels." I should have changed the locks right then. But Nate didn't want to stir things up. "She's going through a lot," he said. "She just got out of a bad relationship. Let her settle." Then I came home one day and found her in our house. Sitting on our couch, drinking one of Nate's beers, watching our Netflix like it was hers. She didn't even flinch when I walked in. "How did you get in here?" "Oh, I had to grab something from the freezer. The kids wanted popsicles." "You used the emergency key." "Yeah?" she said, as if I was the one being weird. "I'm family. I go where I want." That was the first time I truly hated her. I asked for the key back. She didn't give it. She laughed. That weekend, we came home from a Saturday morning soccer game, and there was a full-blown barbecue in our backyard. Smoke from our grill, our folding chairs set up, music playing. Not a single person I recognized. I walked out back and saw her flipping burgers on our grill like she owned the place. "Callie. What are you doing?" She turned around with that same fake smile. "We're having a barbecue. You guys weren't using the yard. This is my yard. That's my grill. You didn't even ask." She stepped forward, raised her voice, and yelled in front of everyone. "This should have been my house. You just married into it." Everything stopped. People turned and stared. Nate stood next to me, stunned. I didn't know what to say. I went back inside before I lost it. After that, I changed the locks. She pounded on our door for 2 days after that. Screamed that I was petty. That I was tearing the family apart. Nate still tried to make peace, told her to chill, told me to be patient. But I was done. And then the bank stuff started. I got a weird call from our mortgage provider. They asked if I'd moved recently, said someone had called to change the contact address on our file. I hadn't. Then I got an email about a new login to our mortgage account. When I checked the login history, it showed someone accessed it from a device we didn't own. I filed a police report, locked the account, and checked our mail. Some of it was missing, statements, tax notices. Gone. I set up a camera above our mailbox. The footage was clear, Callie, reaching into our box. I told Nate. I showed him the footage. He finally stopped defending her. We got a lawyer. But I wasn't done. Not yet. Callie didn't just want our food, our packages, or even our grill. She wanted our house. And I was going to make sure she never got another chance. After we contacted a lawyer, I went into full lockdown mode. I filed a mail theft report with the post office. Called every company we had accounts with and changed all passwords. I put a freeze on our credit. I added cameras around the house, including one pointing straight at her front door. I wasn't paranoid, I was prepared. Nate finally stopped saying, "Maybe she didn't mean it." Seeing her on camera stealing mail was the line for him. But he still had trouble facing what that meant. "She's my sister," he kept saying. "How did it get this bad?" I didn't say what I was thinking, because you let her. The lawyer helped us put together a case for identity theft and fraud. We had proof, footage, account activity, open packages. But before we could press charges, something else happened. I was coming home from work on a Thursday when I saw a strange car in our driveway. A man in a suit stepped out and introduced himself. He was from the county assessor's office. "We got a tip you were trying to transfer title on the property," he said. "There's a request filed to change ownership to a Miss Callie Monroe." I almost threw up right there on the lawn. She had actually tried to file a title transfer on our home. Like we were dead. Like it was hers now. I went straight to her house. She opened the door half laughing, like she already knew what I was there for. "Trying to steal my house?" I said. "Your house?" she replied, cocking her head. "Your name isn't even on the deed. It was Mom and Dad's. Nate inherited it. I'm just taking what I was supposed to have. That's not how it works. You don't get to take anything." She leaned closer, eyes sharp. "I've got proof I've been living here. I've got mail coming to this address. I've got witnesses from that barbecue who saw me here. Try and stop me." It hit me right then, she was building a case. A fake one, sure, but one she thought could hold. I had never seen someone so deep in their own lie. She didn't just want to punish me. She believed this house should be hers. I called the police again. Updated our report. The officer assigned to our case started asking for more documentation. Our lawyer advised us to get a restraining order fast. And then Nate found something that made my blood run cold. He was going through old mail we recovered from her trash, stuff with our name on it. And found a printed letter. It was a fake will, supposedly from their mom, claiming she wanted the house split between her children. The signature was forged. Sloppy. We knew their mom had left everything to Nate legally, and the will had already gone through probate years ago. But Callie was trying to fake a new version. She was serious about this. Our lawyer took the forged will and added forgery and attempted fraud to the case. The police said they were opening a full investigation. We installed a real security system. We started locking every door and window, even when we were home. I slept with one eye open. And then Callie retaliated. It started with little things again. Only this time, it was spiteful. Nails in our driveway. Not once, 3 times in 1 week. I had to replace 2 tires. The security cameras didn't catch her doing it directly, but we saw her kids running around near our cars. One of them had a small bag in his hand. When Nate confronted her, she said, "Kids play. Maybe you should park in your garage like adults." Trash started showing up in our yard, raw meat, broken glass, even a dirty diaper. I caught her standing at the edge of her property once, holding a trash bag, just watching our house. When I stepped outside, she turned and walked back inside like nothing happened. Then came the noise. At night, she'd blast music loud enough to rattle our windows. Not every night, just enough to ruin our sleep. She knew exactly what she was doing. Her lights would stay on until 3 a.m., and I swear I saw her silhouette standing in the window, just watching us. Nate's job started to suffer. He was missing meetings, making mistakes. I started working from home just to stay sane. The stress was destroying us. The kids were scared. My daughter, 8 years old, came into our room crying one night and said, "Why does Aunt Callie hate us?" I didn't have an answer. We filed for the restraining order. At the hearing, she came in with this smug look on her face, like it was all a joke. But when the judge saw the video, the photos, the forged will, her expression cracked. She said we were overreacting. Said we were twisting things. Said I was jealous. Jealous of her. The judge granted the order. She was to stay at least 100 feet away from our property, no contact, no mail, nothing. She screamed in the courtroom. "This isn't over. That house is mine. You stole it. It should have been done." It should have ended there. But a week later, our lawyer called. Callie had filed a civil lawsuit claiming unjust inheritance. She was suing her own brother for the house. When the lawyer told us Callie was suing us, I sat down on the kitchen floor and cried. Not quiet tears. Real sobbing. Ugly and raw. I had held it together through everything, her breaking in, stealing mail, forging documents, poisoning our peace, but now she was dragging us into court. Publicly. We had to hire another attorney just to handle the civil case. The stress was constant. Bills piled up. I couldn't sleep. Nate barely ate. Our kids were afraid to go outside. Callie, meanwhile, strutted around like she'd already won. She even started giving interviews to this local blog, painting herself as a struggling single mom fighting for her rightful home. She was lying to everyone. But she believed it. At the hearing, her lawyer, some bottom-barrel type who probably lived off of small claims cases, argued that because Callie had resided in the home, she hadn't, and because their late mother had supposedly expressed intentions to share the property, she hadn't, that she had a right to at least half ownership. Our lawyer tore her apart. We had the original will, the probate documents, proof that Callie lived at a separate address, proof she committed mail theft, tried to file fraudulent title paperwork, and even that she tampered with our security system once to try and disable the cameras. It wasn't just about the house anymore. She was being exposed. Her lies. Her hate. All of it laid bare. The judge dismissed her lawsuit. With prejudice. Callie screamed again in court. Said we were liars? Said we'd set her up. But this time, no one believed her. She stormed out, and I hoped that would be the last of it. It wasn't. 2 days later, we came home from a dinner out with the kids and found our back windows shattered. Glass everywhere. Drawers open. Closet doors swinging. Callie had broken in. She wasn't there when the police arrived. But she left something behind. On our dining table, she'd placed a framed photo of her and Nate as kids. On top of it, a steak knife. And a note. You always belonged to me, not her. That was it. They found her the next morning in a motel across town. She had stolen jewelry, documents, even one of our kids' toys in her bag. She was arrested on the spot. Charges: burglary, theft, stalking, and violation of a restraining order. Callie's kids were taken by CPS. Nate was heartbroken over that, but there was nothing we could do. They were placed with a foster family temporarily. And us? We stayed. We installed reinforced locks. We got therapy, for ourselves and our kids. We went quiet for a long time. No more family get-togethers. No more helping out just because someone says they're family. But here's the truth, we made a mistake. We ignored the signs. We let her in, literally and emotionally. I wanted to believe she could change. Nate wanted to protect the sibling bond. And that mistake nearly cost us our home, our sanity, and our safety. So no, I don't regret pressing charges. I don't regret cutting her off. I regret waiting so long. Let this be a warning, some people aren't broken. Some people choose to burn everything down when they don't get what they want. And if you let them in, they will. We learned the hard way. But we survived. And we locked the damn door behind us.